Hello everyone, myself Priyanka Vidyadhar Kande Patil, and today's topic is inhibitors of nucleic acid synthesis. So first of all, what is the meaning of nucleic acid? Nucleic acid, it is the large essential biomolecule which includes DNA and RNA, that is deoxyribonucleic acid and ribonucleic acid. Basically, it store, transmit and express the genetic information in all living cells and viruses. It is composed of nucleotide monomer, which consists of 5-carbon sugar, that is pentose sugar, then phosphate group and nitrogenous bases. It is divided into two categories. First, that is folic acid synthesis inhibitors, and second one is inhibitors of nucleic acids. The folic acid synthesis inhibitors, it includes, first one is sulfonamide, second one is cortimoxazole, and third one is trimethoprim. The inhibitors of nucleic acids are quinolones, second one is rifamycin, and third one is metronidazole. So inhibitors of nucleic acids are classified into folic acid synthesis inhibitors, which include sulfonamide, cortimoxazole, and third one is trimethoprim. Inhibitors of nucleic acids include quinolones, rifamycin, and metronidazole. First, we see the folic acid synthesis inhibitor, that is sulfonamide. Sulfonamide have four main types. First is short acting. The time duration is 4 to 8 hours. Example is sulfadiazine. Second one is intermediate acting. The time duration is about 8 to 12 hours. Sulfamethoxazole is the example of intermediate acting sulfonamide. Third type, that is a long acting. The time duration is greater than 7 days. The example is sulfadoxine and sulfamethopirazine. The fourth type, that is a special purpose. Examples are mefenide and sulfur sulfadiazine. So these are the classification of sulfonamide on the basis of time period. The spectrum of sulfonamide is a broad spectrum which is active against both gram-positive as well as gram-negative bacteria. Also, it is active against aerobic as well as anaerobic bacteria. But here it is more sensitive against Haemophilus influenza, Vibrio cholera, and Streptococcus pyogenes. And it is less sensitive against pneumococci and meningococci. That is the spectrum. More sensitive against Haemophilus influenza, Vibrio cholera, and Streptococcus pyogenes. Less sensitive against pneumococci and meningococci. Next, we see the mechanism of action. First of all, sulfonamide acts as the competitive inhibitor of PABA. So PABA, it is basically para-aminobenzoic acid. So sulfonamide, it is the competitive inhibitor of PABA, that is para-aminobenzoic acid, in folic acid synthesis pathway of bacteria. So here competitive inhibitors means what? The competitive inhibitors typically has the chemical structure which are similar to the natural substrate. They are synthetic analogues of each other. That is the competitive inhibitor. So the PABA, that is para-aminobenzoic acid, and pteridine residues. Basically, pteridine residues are bicyclic and heterocyclic compound. Pteridine residues are bicyclic and heterocyclic compound. Specifically, it is the fusion of pyrimidine ring and pyrazine ring. So pyrazine ring, it consists of 4 nitrogen compounds. So this PABA and pteridine residues are converted into dihydrofolic acid in the presence of enzyme that is a folate synthase. The sulfonamide, this particular drug is responsible to inhibit the enzyme that is a folate synthase. Then dihydrofolic acid is converted into trihydrofolic acid, which is the precursor molecule of a folic acid. This trihydrofolic acid is responsible for the synthesis of purine and nucleotide thymidine in the presence of enzyme that is a folate reductase. The drug that is trimethoprim is responsible to inhibit the enzyme that is a folate reductase. The PABA, that is para-aminobenzoic acid, this is the crucial compound in folic acid synthesis inhibitors because it is responsible for the bacterial growth as well as replication process. So the mechanism of action, sulfonamide, it acts as the competitive inhibitor of PABA. Then para-aminobenzoic acid and pteridine residues are converted into dihydrofolic acid in the presence of enzyme folate synthase. Then dihydrofolic acid is converted into trihydrofolic acid in the presence of enzyme folate reductase. This precursor molecule, that is trihydrofolic acid, is responsible for the synthesis of purine and nucleotide thymidine. Next, we see the resistance. The first resistance, that is an altered folate synthase enzyme. Second, decrease the cellular permeability of drug or decrease the influx, that is entry of drug. Here we increase the efflux, that is exit of drug. And the third resistance mechanism, that is enhance the production of PABA. That we see the para-aminobenzoic acid is the responsible for the bacterial growth and replication. That's why we enhance the production of PABA for the resistance mechanism. Next, we see the adverse effect. The first adverse effect, that is aplastic anemia. Basically, it is the failure or suppression of bone marrow. Second adverse effect, that is bilirubin displacement. Basically, that condition is also known as kernicterus. So here bilirubin, it is the yellow pigment which is produced during the breakdown of red blood cells in the liver. Here certain drugs, antibiotics and even fatty acids are responsible to compete with bilirubin for the binding site on albumin. Sulfonamide have high affinity towards the bilirubin. Basically, it can lead to the brain damage, particularly permanent neurological damage at the sensitive area, that is basal ganglia. So this bilirubin displacement, basically it occurs in newborns when bilirubin level increases. If it crosses the blood-brain barrier, then there is the accumulation of bilirubin in that particular brain area, and that condition is known as kernicterus. The third adverse effect, that is crystallurin. Here, the precipitation of this sulfonamide drug, and there is the formation of crystals. That condition is known as crystalluria. So here it can basically responsible to damage the urinary tract infection. And the fourth adverse effect, that is hypersensitivity reaction, that is allergic reaction. The uses of sulfonamide. Sulfonamide are primarily used for urinary tract infection. Second one, respiratory infection. Basically bronchitis. the inflammation in bronchioles, that is the condition bronchitis. Toxoplasmosis, it is the infection caused by the parasites. Nocardiosis, it is the lung infection caused by bacteria. And the last use is prevention of traveler's diarrhea. These are the uses of sulfonamide. Next drug, that is quinolone, which is the inhibitor of nucleic acid synthesis. It basically acts as the inhibitor of nucleic acid synthesis. These are the synthetic analog of nalidixic acid. They are effective in many infections which are caused by gram-positive as well as gram-negative bacteria. It shows the less spectrum of activity against gram-negative bacteria. It has high frequency of bacterial resistance as well as high frequency of plasmid-mediated resistance. The nalidixic acid and oxalinic acid were early quinolones. The new fluorinated derivative of quinolone is known as fluoroquinolone. So basically, fluoroquinolone, it is a more potent drug. So fluoroquinolone, it is a more potent drug. It has less frequency of bacterial resistance and less frequency of plasmid mediated resistance. These are the difference between quinolone and fluoroquinolone. Quinolone, it show less spectrum of activity against gram-negative bacteria. Fluoroquinolone, it show more spectrum of activity against gram-negative bacteria. Then quinolone, it is a less potent drug. Fluoroquinolone, it is a more potent drug. It has less frequency of bacterial resistance as well as plasmid mediated resistance. But the fluoroquinolone has less frequency of bacterial resistance as well as plasmid mediated resistance. So this is the chemical structure of fluoroquinolone. So quinolones are classified into first generation and the second generation. The first generation include norfloxacin. So norfloxacin, it is the less potent drug and which is excreted through the urine. Second is ciprofloxacin. Ciprofloxacin, it is the more potent drug which has less spectrum activity against the gram-negative bacteria as well as it has more sensitive against the beta-lactam antibiotic and aminoglycoside resistant microorganisms. Ciprofloxacin, basically it has the less frequency of bacterial resistance as well as plasmid mediated resistance because the high potency nature. Next is ofloxacin. Ofloxacin, basically it is high lipid soluble drug which is basically active against Mycobacterium tuberculosis as well as Mycobacterium leprosy. And the last one, that is pafloxacin. It is also the lipid soluble drug which is active against both gram-positive as well as gram-negative bacteria. So these are the first generation quinolones. Second generation include the levofloxacin. Levofloxacin, it is active against Streptococcus pneumoniae and certain gram-positive as well as gram-negative bacteria. Second one, that is lomifloxacin. It is active against Streptococcus pneumoniae and Enterococci. This sparfloxacin, this particular antibiotic, is active against Streptococcus pneumoniae and certain gram-positive bacteria. Gemifloxacin, this particular antibiotic, is active against only the gram-positive bacteria. It basically shows the narrow spectrum of activity. Moxifloxacin, this particular drug is active against gram-positive bacteria, gram-negative bacteria, aerobic as well as anaerobic bacteria. It also active against the Mycobacterium tuberculosis. Then it is also active against beta-lactam antibiotic as well as macrolides resistant microorganisms. And the last one, that is prolifloxacin. This particular drug is active against Streptococcus pneumoniae as well as Staphylococcus aureus. So these are the classification of quinolones. Next, we see the mechanism of action. Basically, fluoroquinolone, this particular drug is responsible to inhibit the two important enzymes which play important role in bacterial DNA synthesis. The first enzyme, that is DNA topoisomerase, and second one, that is helicase enzyme. So the DNA topoisomerase is responsible for the bacterial DNA replication process. This DNA topoisomerase that human cell lack. Then helicase enzyme basically responsible to stop the transcription process. Next, DNA gyrase is responsible to introduce the negative supercoiling in gram-negative bacteria that basically responsible to relax the DNA molecule. DNA gyrase have 4 subunits, that is 2A and 2B. The A subunit is responsible to cleave DNA strand and B subunit is responsible to introduce the negative supercoiling. So this particular DNA gyrase enzyme, when this quinolone or fluoroquinolone, this particular drug binds to this particular enzyme, that is DNA gyrase, DNA undergo fragmentation and cell death occur. So this is the mechanism of action. Next, the mechanism of resistance. First, decrease the cellular permeability of drug, decrease the influx, that is entry of drug. Here we increase the efflux, that is exit of drug. Second, resistance, that is protection of DNA gyrase by some proteins or by some enzymes. And the third resistance, that is alteration of DNA gyrase or topoisomerase second by chromosomal mutant. The adverse effect of quinolone. The first adverse effect, that is tendonitis. Tendonitis, it is basically inflammation in tendon. So tendon basically it is the fibrous connective tissue which is responsible to connect the muscle and bone. Second adverse effect, that is phototoxicity. The symptoms are sunburn and rashes. Third is teratogenic effect. Basically it is effect on embryo. And fourth one, that is mild temporary adverse effect. It includes basically hypersensitivity reaction, dizziness, headache, as well as gastrointestinal disturbances. Also minor hematological abnormalities. So these are the adverse effects of quinolones. Next, antibiotic, that is rifamycin. Rifamycin is also known as rifampicin, which is basically isolated from Streptomyces as well as Actinomycetes species. Then we see the mechanism of action. Here, this particular drug binds to the beta subunit of RNA polymerase enzyme. Then there is the inhibition of polymerization process and blockage of transcription process. Also, it inhibits the enzyme, that is RNA synthase. That is the mechanism of action. Then resistance, alteration of target enzyme. We basically changes the chemical structure of that particular enzyme, that is RNA polymerase, and decrease the influx, that is entry of drug. Next, the adverse effect, gastrointestinal disturbances, hepatotoxicity, basically inflammation in liver, discoloration of body fluids, include tear and saliva into deep orange color. And the last adverse effect, that is thrombocytopenia. This particular condition is decrease the platelet count. So these are the adverse effect of rifamycin. Next drug, that is metronidazole. It is a low molecular weight compound and it has the rapid absorption capacity. This is the chemical structure of metronidazole. Then we see the mechanism of action. Here the pyruvate is converted into acetyl coenzyme A, which is an oxidized form. The reduced form of pyruvate is converted into oxidized form of acetyl coenzyme A in the presence of enzyme, that is a pyruvate ferredoxin oxidase reductase enzyme. Here ferredoxin oxidized form is converted into reduced form of ferredoxin. So here there is the formation of reactive oxygen species as well as nitrogen free radicals. So these nitrogen free radicals as well as reactive oxygen species are responsible to fragment the DNA. DNA undergo fragmentation and cell death occur. So this is the mechanism of action. Next, the mechanism of resistance. By using the microorganism, that is Helicobacter pylori, this particular microorganism responsible to decrease the activity of pyruvate ferredoxin oxidase reductase enzyme. The both reactions occur, that is oxidation as well as reduction. The word, that is redox reaction. And it is converted into pyruvate synthase. That is the resistance mechanism. The adverse effect, that is gastrointestinal tract, then central nervous system, basically encephalitis, inflammation in brain, meningitis, inflammation in meninges. And the third adverse effect, that is allergic reactions, are nothing but the hypersensitivity reactions. The uses of metronidazole, it is used to treat the anaerobic infections, basically colitis, trichomoniasis, and the last one, that is a bacterial vaginitis, inflammation in vagina. So thank you. It is all about the inhibitors of nucleic acid synthesis.